Hello, everyone, and good night. Welcome to another episode of the Business Motivation Podcast. This is episode 18 in the series, and with us tonight is Shavar Fearon, the founder of DC Media.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes.
Fearon, do you have a two cents to say as a further introduction as before we continue?
Well, I'm just a fellow entrepreneur. I'm just trying to help the entertainment industry. If
Okay,
you know,
all right. The entertainment industry, very interesting. For those who, don't see the obvious, fresh look on this young man's face. He is the youngest person to feature on this podcast. How old are you, Mr. Ferran?
I'm 18.
All
Just
right,
turned 18 the other day.
all right. So you see me, just boss, yeah, 18 years of age. So I mean, it just shows that once you have a business mindset, you can start something. So you don't have to be 30 years old to start something. You can be the good old young age. Yes, that sounds a bit weird, but the young age of 18. Now, going back to, you know, you're young, so I assume that the business that you have just started, right?
Yes, essentially, call it about a year. Started
Okay,
about a year ago.
okay, so you started something from 17, right?
17, 16, 17, around that time.
Okay. Awesome. I mean, I would say you're ahead of a lot of people that are older than you.
Trying.
Trust me. For those who don't know this young man, and I've watched this young man grow, and I see that he really likes his technology. So you say you want to help the entertainment industry. What exactly do you bring to that industry? What do you do at DC Media?
Yes. All right. So it's basically the idea of the company is to best way I can put it is to work behind the scenes, whether it be music, photography, media production, streaming, whatever it is, we would cover that part of it.
All right, so
That's the main goal.
awesome. So just a bit on the music part. Just need to clarify something. Is it that you when like for example a music video is being done, you would mix it or you help to produce music or what?
Yeah, man, both. I can mix it. I'm still learning some of the things, but I can mix it. I can film it, edit it. All of that.
Oh, yeah, about beer things, man. I didn't know that. Wow, I'm impressed. I'm very impressed with that. The name though, Dacrew Media, DC. That's what the DC stands for. You had told me before we started filming. Can you just give a background story
Yeah.
on that name? It sounds a bit funny to me, but and I'm
Yeah, it
sure
it,
I'm
it is.
sure it has meaning
It's
behind it.
a unique name. The best way I can explain how I came up with it was that I wanted something different, but I wanted it to be adaptable because the main goal of the name originally was for a YouTube channel coming soon. You know, YouTube channel. I needed something adaptable and something that would create sort of a community that would let everybody feel a part. Hence the crew. So the original idea was the crew, but at the same time, I wanted something a little bit more original. So I put sort of a Jamaican twist to it and said that instead of the. Sometimes that's a word that we'll use to in place of the, right?
Right, all right. Putting that Jamaican flavor to it. I really appreciate that. But the word crew isn't. I guess yes, you want to build some sort of community, and hence that community would be the crew. But do you actually have a crew, or is it a one-man show?
Yes, I do. A few people behind the scenes that I will bring in to assist me on certain things at certain point in time. They know themselves.
All right.
Uh, you know.
Okay, awesome. So you have a few things in place already. So you
Yeah,
have
yeah, I
the
do.
skills, you have people to help you out. But when did this fascination for technology begin? I saw you growing up, but I wouldn't know when exactly that moment sparked in your mind that yes, I'm going down this technology route. And from there, just explain why you decided to start a business.
Yes. It started from around the age of 6 or so.
Wow.
At Spring Village, I was always around, like my older brother Sean and Uncle Marcel and stuff. Um, always liked the idea of it, and by around 7 or 8, I learned how to run the PA system at church and stuff. Started dabbling into mixing audio, stuff like that until I stayed there until I started. I wanted to play the drums originally, which I did learn at one point, but it was really an idea that my father had liked. He rather than more, a different instrument. Went until I eventually got me my first piano, first keyboard, and that's where I started to learn um how to play. As you know already, I started playing at church. Eventually, I learned the bass as well. Started going to a few different churches, playing and stuff. Started to get a little bit of recognition. By the time I got to I started playing in grade 7. In grade 8 now, um, my brother left a camera that I started playing with. After a while, I realized that this is something I like. I'm not bad at it. You know, using a professional camera felt good. You know, After a while, I started doing things for family members. Um, so I photographed my uncle's wedding, my mom's wedding, some little stuff. Till some people through those connections ended up meeting me, and I ended up doing just some light work for people. Started getting a bit of money and stuff. So yeah, that happened from about age of 8 to 15. And then when I got around 16 or 17, I decided that maybe that this could be a proper career path for me, because said by most people, I'm not too bad at it. It's something that people like. So I decided that, what, I'm going to take it seriously. I'm going to see how far I can go with this media thing. And then thus, DC Media was born.
All right. Awesome story. So it had a lot of foundation in it. 6 years old, being interested in the PA system at church and stuff like that, and now it developed into something by the age of 17, 18. And I must commend you. I mean, I believe you're good at what you do. And by the time you're my age or before that, I mean, you'll be an expert. So let's
I
keep
mean,
believing.
hopefully.
I mean, you're just 18 at the end of the day. You have a lot of time
True,
and a
true.
lot of, time to learn, to try things and fail and work on your mistakes and try again. Trust me. Your age is not a bad age at all to start a business. Um, so now that we have heard the backstory, I am very fascinated to find out um the process though of how you operate. So you say you did weddings, right? What else do you do, by the way, apart from weddings?
All right. So anything from for photography, anything from weddings to parties to gatherings, whatever it is. If you need photographs, photo shoot, birthday photo shoots. I've done some, stuff like that. I got you covered. Um, Same thing for video. If you have like a YouTube video you want edited or filmed or stuff like that, I can do it. Or a podcast, I can do, I can do that. For music, it's basically the same thing. If you need a pianist or a bass, I won't put myself out there as a drummer. Need some more practice with that. But bass, keyboard. If you need anybody for any little event, concert, I did a play the other day at my old school, a musical play, uh, weddings, anything like that. I can do it.
Okay, wow, that's a lot. So basically,
Events in general, yeah.
events in general. So you guys heard it here first. This young man, very versatile, and he can basically enhance any big time event that you have in mind. So of course, his links will be in the description of this video. So, check out his Instagram and so forth. Check the links. All right, cool.
Yes,
Um,
Instagram, Dacrew Media, DACREWMEDIA,
all
Dacrew
right,
Media. It's the only one on Instagram. Um, you know, you can DM me there, or any of the other links are also on the page.
all right, all right, all right. So I'm gonna put you on the spot here a bit, though.
And
I want you to run me through the process. Now, you go to a wedding, right?
uh-huh.
So just run me through how you would, set up your camera and whatever it's like. Just paint the picture for me. Explain the whole.
So like you want me to release some trade secrets, man, but
But
yeah, no problem,
okay,
no
as
problem.
best as you can without releasing the trade secrets.
Alright. The ideal way that I would do it would be I would have a second or a third, two people that come with me. For a wedding now. The ideal way would to get with both the bride and the groom from before, take a few pictures apart. Um if it's a film that you asked me to do, I would try to get some footage of both of them apart as well. Both of them when they first see each other, them close, it's a memorable moment, things that you want to capture forever. So I would have, alright, let's see. I would have, let's say, I'd have the two people coming with me. I would use them to get the first footage, make sure lighting is good, all of those things. But cameras are prepared, all of that. Comes to the ceremony now, if I'm streaming it, I would stream is have the different angles, switch between, so to give the audience the best look they can, like to help them to try and feel like they're actually there. Because it came very this ability became very important during COVID, where not many people could come together. So you'd have like a limit of 50, a limit of 25. Weddings usually have a lot more people than that. So the important people come, and then my job as a streamer would be to let everybody that wasn't able to be there to feel like they're there, right?
Mhm.
Back to photography now is I'll get some pictures during the ceremony, you know. Then would like to have a designated time for photos. Understand? So where the important people would break off from the crowd, you know, go inside a nice background or something, I'd have my umbrella. That's a device that will have a flash in that used to give sufficient light if the sunlight or whatever, or my deflector, whatever the case may be, whatever the case needs, get those pictures as best as possible, you know get some footage of even taking some of the pictures. That would be one of my second's job, you know and then back to going to the reception now, you know once again back to the streaming, you would try to make everybody feel like they're actually there, getting all the angles, getting all of those special moments, and all those things. Um, and yeah, that's basically it. Just trying to capture the best moments to remember it.
All right, all right. Thank you very much for that. And yeah,
And I
because
mean, there is the not to cut you, there is the editing side of it that
oh
gets a
yeah,
little bit more complicated, making sure that you can draw the best image out of the pictures, best quality. But yeah,
yeah. So I did speak to somebody who somebody else on this podcast who does a similar you know job to you, and he was saying similar things, capturing those moments, and he emphasized the whole thing about angles as well. Very
yeah,
important
very very important, very important.
how to take a proper picture and all that stuff. So it seems like this is something that is, highly practiced in the community of media personnel. Um, and that's pretty good. It's good that, as a young man, he seems to know what he's talking about. Right? The person I interviewed is a good deal older than this young man, so it's not like, he's just too young to know it, to know anything. He knows what he's doing. So
And
I'm
still have a lot to learn,
of
still have
course
a lot,
we
improve
all
on.
do. We all do. So there's no shame in that. And
Yeah,
this is what this podcast is about. For those who are new, like and subscribe. Remember to share the video, leave a comment. Right. So this is what this is all about. I mean, it's about showing the story of the growth of young business owners and entrepreneurs. Who knows? Maybe 5 years down the line, we come back to Shavar and he has his massive media company and doing what he does best. Who knows? But I do want to ask you though. Um,
mm-hmm.
this kind of thing now, this kind of business, it sounds quite expensive to maintain.
Expensive. Oh yes, it is. It really is.
So for those who are requesting your services, I'm sure you're going to charge them, at a decent amount of money because
You
you
know,
need money to maintain, the business, right? But how would you negotiate with somebody? Because I know sometimes, especially in Jamaica, people try to use the market tactics. You know what I'm talking about? To try to talk
yeah,
you
man, to try to get it as low as possible.
down. So how do deal with that?
It depends. It's on a case to case because I wouldn't charge somebody the same amount to play at a funeral as to stream it because one clearly takes a lot more work, you know. So it will all depend, how long. Like for instance, in for a concert or a birthday photo shoot or whatever it is, it depends on how long. Depends on how much equipment I'm going to have to carry with me. Am I going to have to carry my personal keyboard? You know, because people, this is the thing though that people say, oh yeah man, I have a keyboard you can use. It's a good keyboard. It's Yamaha because people just auto default that Yamaha is a good keyboard. When really it's just one little 61 key that not really so good that may end up having to carry my keyboard anyway. Yeah, right. Because so that's a problem sometimes. And then there are other places that have actual keyboards, like for instance a church in Portmore, they have a Roland. It's a pretty good keyboard. Whenever they ask me to play, I don't really have to worry about carrying any equipment. So they don't really charge them that much anyway. Right? So it all depends on
Okay.
circumstances and stuff things.
So
Yeah.
it depends on the specific request and what is required to fulfill the request.
Right.
Then you gauge the price based on that. Okay, I see. That's a good approach in my opinion.
Because if you go back to even the streaming, you know that you have to have good internet, right? Which means that if the place doesn't have good internet, I'm going to have to try to find my own.
Okay.
Which means that that would be a added cost, to get the service in more portable router or whatever it is, to bring across, in quality.
Yeah,
So it all
especially if,
depends.
if the wedding keep a bush, you know what
Exactly.
I
All the way up in a blue mountain, need
Wow.
some service. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool though. The fact that you have a mobile router, so you can get internet. That's actually brilliant. Again, kudos to you again for that. All right. So you mentioned a couple of times that there are sometimes issues when you're dealing with customers. I mean, has any one of those customers, stood out to you in terms of being able
Ah,
to
something I would have to think about. As not really, no, not really. There's just general problems, not really any that stand out per se. Not really any bad ones. I don't think I've been around long enough to have some really bad ones yet. But there's some general problems like they'll be like, "Oh, this price is too high. If I wanted this, I would go to that person and whatever." Oop, camera just cut out. Yep, and you know you have to be like, well, if you want to go to this person, then you may, because that's just what my talents cost. You understand?
Yeah, I understand very much because I mean, other people don't understand that it takes a bit of skill to reach a certain level to deal
Skill
with
and
certain things
equipment,
and the
and
investment,
not cheap,
right? Right. So
right?
that's just how it is. For those who are gonna criticize his camera shutting off, it's because the temperature is hot in Jamaica, right?
Yeah, it's just a bit of temperature problems.
Yeah, man, some cameras react negatively to high temperatures.
A good example for this, in a stream, I would have more than one camera. So in a case where the camera would shut off, I could just quickly switch to one of my other ones, fix
Okay.
this problem. Just like you see how quick I fix this problem just now,
All right.
and then back on the road again. You wouldn't even know.
Uh,
Right? That part is also
yeah,
a skill you have to, you know,
you have to be quick.
exactly. So, and then talking while also rectifying the problem is not very easy either.
All right.
Some
So
people
yes,
feel like it's an easy thing. Not really.
so guys, this young man has some skills, man. Check out his links in the description, man. All right. So going to the more positive side of things now.
Yeah.
Can you give me an experience, a testimony of, a client that you might have had that, really sang your praises?
All right. There's this one church where every time I'm gone too long, so them gonna call my phone. And well, it's something that gets a little bit annoying sometimes because I'm like, well, we have other people dealing with that really can't go there. So now it feels good to know that I left that imprint that you want me to come back. But there's this other thing though, when, like for instance, I'll go to a church, I'll play, and then at the end of it, a little boy or a little girl or maybe a little older will come to you and be like, how long you playing, all of these things, questioning. Like they want to, it feels good that I have inspired somebody else to want to, become a musician or a photographer or whatever. When they look at what you do and be like, I want to do that one day. I want to be able to do that one day.
All right. Awesome. Young man, and he is already begun to be an inspiration. So, I mean, I really do commend you for that. And final question before we wrap this up. How far do you see this going? Like, what's your vision for the next 5 years for this company? I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot right now, but you've been doing very well
Yeah,
so far.
the thing is you haven't asked me anything yet that I haven't thought about at some point. So
Uh,
I do have a base to start answering from, which is the 5 year thing. I've gone to as far as 10 years. That at the end of 5 to 10 years, I want to have an actual building. I want to have
hmm,
personnel where I can, trustworthy people, of course, where I can say, all right, we have this and this, these events. You and you cover this. Me and this person cover that, and whatever, and everybody get whatever funds them supposed to get, whatever it is. Because as I said, it's supposed to be a crew. It's supposed to work together. You understand? Teamwork make the dream work, and that is what I want to create.
All right. Awesome stuff. Well, Shavar, this has been a pleasure talking to you about this young and up and coming business that you have, Dacrew Media. I really do wish you the best with your endeavors. And of course, as I keep
Sir,
saying, follow him on social media, and of course, like, subscribe, and share. Do you have any final words to, someone who might be interested in your field, or, just in general? Do you have any final encouraging thing to say?
yeah, man. My dad always said, whatever your hobby is, turn it into your job, and use it to the best of your abilities. So whatever it is that you love, do it. Make it a career. You probably not start out as good as you want it because, well, if you look at me, I started with a DSLR that screen DVD didn't work properly. You understand? And I was still able to use it. A keyboard that some would say not really professional grade, and I've done some good things with it. And I know other people that had worse than me that did even better than I can, right? So it's just to work with whatever you have to the best of your abilities and have some faith in yourself. Don't give up.
All right,
Yeah.
awesome stuff. From a young man who's 18 and going on 30. Thank you very much, Shavar, for that word of wisdom. I see that your father has taught you a thing or two about how to approach life. And my encouragement to you is to, again, like and subscribe and share. I mean, we have good content coming
I
up
mean,
here.
of course.
And this podcast is just how it is now. There will be improvements in the future. So I'm building something here as well. So for those who have been with us from the start, thank you for being with us. This has been yet another episode of the Business Motivation Podcast, episode number 18. All right. So, Shavar, you can say a last goodbye.
Yeah, man. Big up to all. Like, share, comment, subscribe. And make sure someone actually do it, man. Wanna try something, man. Do it. You know, everybody help everybody. Follow me on Instagram. Link in the description. That's all from Shavar tonight.
All right. Awesome stuff. This has been Matthew Farquharson, the Business Motivator, and we'll see you next time. All right. Peace out.